Hi, I'm Richard Sickles, and we are going to discuss rhetoric fallacies. First, I'm going to define what a fallacy is, then we will discuss how and why they are used, before finally discussing why you should avoid them. But first, to define it, we are going to go to Purdue Online Writing Lab, or more commonly known as Purdue OWL, which defines it as a common error in reasoning that will undermine the logic of our argument. So these are illogical or irrelevant standpoints, and they're often easily identified because they lack any kind of evidence or support to back them up. They can be quite effective because they do appeal to our emotions frequently, but they can easily backfire on us once they're discovered. And so, as I said, they do appeal to our emotions, and that is one of the rhetoric appeals, pathos, that Aristotle talks about. And so, going through the rhetoric toolbox, there was some definitions, and there was some examples of what different appeals to pathos look like, or what different fallacies look like. And so there's a couple of them that seem to go hand in hand. And the first one that I saw was appeal to symbols, or appeal to flags, appeal to our nation. And one of the first fallacies was the appeal to fear. So this is appeal straight to one of our basic emotions. And it was saying how if you do not think that it said the appeal to fear is the best of the fallacies, and if you do not think so, then the terrorists are going to win, and you don't want the terrorists to win. And I mean, this is a direct appeal to our emotions here in America specifically because of our history with terrorists. But this is illogical because in no way does it actually back up how the appeal to fear is the best of all of the fallacies. Leading into another one is ad hominem, which is a very common fallacy where somebody attacks the character of their opponent rather than attacking the stance or the argument that opponent is trying to make. And this is something that we saw recently in our election system, where political opponents would attack the other candidate because they are of a different religion, and that's all their attack was. That's all their argument was don't vote for this person because they are of a different religion. And that didn't actually support in any way, shape, or form their argument for what they were going to do as a candidate if they made it in as our politician. And so with both of these examples, these are very illogical standpoints, which is going to hurt the other appeal to rhetoric, which is logos. The third rhetoric appeal is ethos, which is also going to be hurt because with the illogical standpoints that you're taking, people aren't going to trust you. And ironically, if you're using like the ad hominem standpoint, where you're attacking the person's character, it's just going to hurt your character in the eyes of your audience. So we need to be careful when it comes to these fallacies. We need to be careful about people using the fallacies. We need to be able to identify them, but we also need to be careful about using them ourselves because, like Purdue says, they're common errors in reasoning. They're very common. It's something that all of us are guilty of doing at some point in our lives, whether we meant to or not. So you need to be careful of where our emotions are coming into play, but also using the logic to keep them at bay. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in class.